Hello and welcome to STEM with Mr N, where every week I perform different demonstrations and explain the science behind what we're seeing. This week I'm going to take a walk through history and look at some pretty mind-blowing numbers as I explore the 4.5 billion year timeline of the Earth. Let's check it out. Because this week's episode is going to involve using some really big numbers, I'm going to put them all into context at the end of the video. What I want you to do is think about how long ago 1,000 seconds was, how long ago 1 million seconds was, and how long ago 1 billion seconds was. I'll reveal the answers to these at the end of the video. I'm going to make a timeline of the Earth using a roll of toilet paper. This roll of toilet paper has 200 squares on it, and to keep my numbers nice and even, I'm going to make this roll of toilet paper count for 5 billion years worth of history. This means that every single square counts for 25 million years. So let's get started. First, I need to walk forward from the end of my toilet roll all the way down to square number 20. This is now 4.5 billion years ago. This is when our solar system was created. It is thought that our solar system was originally a collection of gas and dust floating around in space that got pushed together by the explosion of a star much further out in space called a supernova. All this gas and dust pulled itself together, and through the force of gravity it formed the sun and the planets and moons in our solar system. Next I'm going to go forward to square number 52, which counts for 3.7 billion years ago. Up until this point, the surface of the Earth had been made up of molten rock and lava. But at 3.7 billion years ago, the surface of the Earth cooled and the crust of the Earth solidified. Next I'm going to go forward to square number 60. This is now 3.5 billion years ago, and this is when the first life started to appear in the oceans of Earth. And then forward again to square 70, which is now 3.25 billion years ago. This is when photosynthesis started to take place on the Earth. Photosynthesis is a chemical process by which plants take in water, light and carbon dioxide, and they produce oxygen. As a result of photosynthesis taking place, 2.4 billion years ago, which is on square 104, is where the ocean started to get a large amount of oxygen being collected in it, and this then paved the way for future life. 1.9 billion years ago, which is square 124, is when the first cells with nuclei started to appear in the oceans. Then 0.65 billion years ago, which is square 174, is when the first multicellular life started to appear in the oceans. And then slightly further forward at 0.5 billion years ago, on square 179, is when the first land plants with inner vessels started to appear on the Earth. Up until square 190, Earth continues to progress with more and more life appearing on the Earth, not just plants, but lots of animals in the oceans and on the land. However, at square 190, which is 250 million years ago, there was a mass extinction which wiped out about 99% of all living things on the Earth. It is thought that this mass extinction was caused by the eruption of supervolcanoes igniting coal and gas that was underneath the Earth's surface, and this caused a lot of carbon dioxide to go up into the air, poisoning the Earth's atmosphere and its waters. However, this paved the way for the age of the dinosaurs, which started 245 million years ago, so not far enough away from the mass extinction to push it any further away than square 190. 150 million years ago, which is square 194, saw the Earth's supercontinent start to break up. Up until that point, the Earth had consisted of just one large continent, not the lots of different continents that we know today, and this large continent was called Pangaea. But at this point, it started to move apart due to continental drift and split up into the continents that we know today. Around 65 million years ago, which is on square 197, the age of the dinosaurs came to an end when a large asteroid struck the Earth and wiped out a lot of the life that existed, and the dinosaurs were all wiped out, with the exception of those that were starting to evolve into modern day birds. the dinosaurs were around on Earth for approximately 180 million years, an incredible reign for any species of animal. So when did humans first appear on the Earth? Well, it wasn't until 3.5 million years ago when the first proto-human, which was a type of primate, evolved on the Earth. This is only 1.5 centimetres from the end of our timeline. It wasn't until around 100,000 years ago that Homo sapiens, what modern humans are, appeared on our timeline. And this is only half a centimetre from the end of our timeline. And recorded human history only started about 10,000 years ago. This falls in at 0.05 millimetres from the end of our timeline. Now that I've travelled through 5 billion years of history, through the creation of the Earth to modern humans, we can look back at that seconds question from the start of the video. 1,000 seconds is about 16.6 minutes. 1 million seconds is about 11 days, and 1 billion seconds is about 31.5 years. The Earth has been here for 4.5 billion years, but if we convert its years into seconds, that means the Earth has been here for about 141.75 years. Humans have been here for about 100,000 years. This means that this small patch here where humans first appeared on our timeline of the Earth is the same as 1 day and 3 hours. A very short time compared to the entire history of the Earth. Well, that's all for this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. As always, I would like to take this opportunity to answer any science questions you have about any science topics at all. So feel free to email me at stemwithmrn@outlook.com and I'll get back to you with answers to your questions. You can subscribe to the channel by pushing the button here, and I've added links here to the other STEM demonstrations I've done so far. This has been STEM with Mr. N, exploring the 4.5 billion year timeline of the Earth.